James is doing the meetings tonight.
Okay.
Joanne is on vacation.
Live.
Okay. Hi, James. Yeah, I see we're recording, but I'm just waiting for the live to see that we're live.
Yes, we are live.
Maybe it's is it that little diamond that's flashing? Usually we get a little green signal that we're live. Oh, and here's Heather. Okay.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Well, I'm going to trust that we are live. Good evening. I am calling the Land Use and Building Management Committee special meeting of Tuesday, July 2nd to order. It is 6:02. Roll call tonight. We have with us council members Jim Frayer, Nicole Ayers, Dewan Wiggins, Heather Dunn, and myself, Barbara Smith. If others join, we'll go ahead and make a note of it. Next item on the agenda is public participation. Is there anyone who is online who would like to speak?
Diane Loricella.
Okay, go ahead and move her over. Ms. Loricella, good evening. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Chairman Smith and members of the committee and staff. My name is Diane Loricella, 21 Little Fox Lane. Tonight, I just have 2 questions, and I will like to know who can I follow up with. The first question is this. Over the many years I have spoken or observed the Land Use and Building Management Committee, there is always a contingency left of 10% seems to be the customary amount by policy. I'd like to know where I could find either a chart or a list as to which projects have had to use those additional funds. I think that would be important and interesting to know as we prepare for the next budget cycle as to which capital budget especially goes over. And a lot of times there's good reason for it to do so. But where can I find the data that talks about how many times we dip into the contingency funds on each project? Number 2, my question is, I have commented on this, and also I have observed that little by little, we are removing underground fuel tanks at our schools, and Mr. Hodel, of course, has been the lead on that. I have asked, and I again put this in front of you, and I'd like to know who I speak with, and that is, before we decided to convert to Eversource fracked gas, it's not natural gas, it's fracked gas in this part of the state. Was there a review to see whether that particular school could have better handled clean renewable energy for both heating and cooling? And so that question, I'd like to know, who do I speak with? Who can I follow up with, even if it is Mr. Hodel? I'm interested in data and information. So of course, I'm very happy when we remove underground fuel tanks. I used to help with the Lust and Ust, it was called at DEP in the 80s, the underground fuel tank and leaking underground tank program. So I'd also be interested in seeing what is the status of those tanks when they're removed, how much soil remediation was needed, because of course, you know, that price always goes up. So thank you for your time. Have a nice weekend for 4th of July.
Thank you. You too, Diane. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Not that I can see.
And nothing come to me.
Okay. Meeting of May 1st. Do I have a motion to move the minutes of the last meeting? Okay, Mr. Frayer moves that item. Are there any changes, additions, deletions, corrections? Nope. Okay, I have none either. All in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Okay. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, 1 abstention. Mr. Wiggins, are you voting?
Abstain.
Okay, thank you. So we have 2 abstentions. Thank you. Okay, now let us move on to Item number 1, old business, which is the first, we have a review of the school's hazardous materials remediation strategy plan. Alan, did you want to introduce that, or are we going right to Bill?
I just want, this is on the agenda because it was requested by the committee a couple of months ago, and I'm keeping on agenda. I don't believe that we are intent to talk about it this month, but I was asked to put it on the agenda, so I kept it on the agenda. I believe that Councilman Burnett was looking for some kind of reporting at the end of this summer after some of the remediation work by Board of Ed is completed. So meanwhile, this item is still on agenda, but we will talk about it until I think it's looking for an August meeting. Is the time that he's thinking about have some discussion on this.
Okay, yeah, that was my recollection, August. So so that's fine. We will be ready for that in August then, for our August meeting. Okay, moving on to new business. Item 1, Lockwood Matthews Mansion, item 1, review request to execute an amendment to the financial assistance agreement with Lockwood Matthews Mansion Museum and refer the following recommendation to the Common Council for action. Authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an amendment to the financial assistance agreement with Lockwood Matthews Mansion Museum to allocate an additional $3 million from the Lockwood Matthews Mansion Museum Improvement Project. Funds are available from the 2024-2025 capital budget. Account number to be established. Will someone move that item, please? Ms. Dunn moves it. Thank you very much, Ms. Dunn. Okay, so this is, as we all know, this was part of the capital budget for this this coming year. This work that is going to be done is being done very, since we have this big contract, right, and we're doing all this work to finish up some of these other items will be efficient and cost less money by doing so. I know I saw Doug Hempstead and Patsy Brusha in the
Robert Cavella.
in the attendees. I don't know who else might be there. But I'm going to turn it over to you, Alan. Yeah, I see both of them with their hands raised. Maybe we want to move them over.
James, can you move them over, please?
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. So Alan, I'll turn it over to you for now. And
yeah,
then,
sure.
Yeah.
Very quickly, I think the item is somewhat straightforward. The council approved the money recently, and it's really just the process of, in order for us to make payment, there need to be an agreement between the city and Lockwood Matthews Mansion. The funding that comes from the state go directly to Lockwood Matthews Mansion. So really, this project is joint funding, and I'm the person from the city side monitoring the release of the money to Lockwood Matthews Mansion as the project proceeds and expenditures are made. One of the reasons why we it takes a little work on our part is because the state money is reimbursable money, and like the city, Lockwood Matthews Mansion doesn't have money sitting around to advance it for the state portion. So we are using the city side to support their effort in terms of financial effort to manage the project so that we can continue to pay the contract in a timely fashion so they continue working. A little bit of challenge is a cash flow, not an issue, but a cash flow thing that we need to manage. So we are typically putting a little more money. The money is available, but we're putting the money just to cover the state portion. So when the state, when Lockwood Matthews Mansion get reimbursement, then the ratio will get better balance at that point. So we are making every effort on the city part to support this project through the financial process. With that said, I think Patsy and Doug is in the meeting. Maybe they would provide a little bit of update on where we are. I think it'd be nice to hear from them to see how everything is going. I think the anticipated completion date is still end of December this year. So with that, Patsy and Doug, please.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Okay, hi, everybody. Yeah, we're moving along on pretty much on schedule. I would estimate that we're about 2/3 done with the project. The messy pulling the building apart part is almost completed, and now we're putting the building back together and doing the finishing work. We anticipate being done with the construction piece by the middle of December. We do recognize that it will take the museum 2 to 3 months to move back into into the building and get reestablished. So it's a bit of a, oh dear. Oh, I'm turning that off. I'm sorry. It's a bit of a challenge for us to anticipate exactly how long it will take us to move in, but we're already planning that. And then the next question obviously is, when can we start our programming again? So we're sort of focused on late winter, early spring for our programs that we normally have within the building. We have been able to do most of our programs outside of the building by sharing venues with Stepping Stones and the library and Mill Hill and Fairfield Museum. So everybody's really been helping us to be able to continue our programs. And that's very helpful, and we're very appreciative of it. I don't know if there's any questions anybody has. This is going to redo the gift shop, the warming kitchen on the first floor. It will provide upstairs staff space up on the top floor of the servants wing, and we believe we'll be able to finish out the archive section in the basement, which is a big project. But we will, be moving things that were on the third and fourth floor originally before we moved out of the building down into that space, so that the public has access to a lot of our treasures. I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody.
It's very
That's what-
exciting. It's very exciting to know the culmination of this project is nearing its end. I mean, 15 years of planning, for this, and it's really exciting. Patsy and Doug, I want to thank you for, shepherding this project. This is a treasure. This is an absolute treasure for the city, and it's exciting to think that, we're going to, be able to, offer more programming and more tours and more availability through, for residents and visitors to see the entire home. It's exciting.
We are planning some special opening events, really to introduce everybody that has supported this with their tax dollars to come and see what the museum can now add on to our program. So that's going to be the first phase. We'll probably have a soft opening. Doug is spending a lot of time working on those plans, and I'm trying to finish up the project mostly. So we thank you all for your support. We really appreciate it.
I just want to add a thank you also. And Alan and I go back well over 30 years. And I just want to let you know, you probably have one of the best department people as there is in City Hall. He's worked well. He's worked very well with us. He's worked hard with us. We don't make it easy on him. But Alan and the rest of the city agency have been wonderful. And I thank you all for your support. And I'll tell you how some things come around, go around. I remember voting, I think, on the initial funding for the work to be done on the plan, just getting the plans done when I was on the council. So it's amazing how life comes in full circle. But again, thank you all for your support through all this. Appreciate it. Can't wait to see you all there at the front door when we do cut the ribbon.
We'll be there.
I think I owed up lunch after that statement.
Yeah, no problem.
One other thing I want to add is that I typically get a monthly report from the Lockwood Matthews Mansion for Robert Cavallo. There's pictures and stuff. So it's a very interesting project, very challenging, but at the same time, it's for those of us in the committee that's interested in construction and how things work behind the scene. I think this is a good time to take a look at it. If anybody's interested, reach out to me and we can schedule a little tour of the building. you know, in the past, there are times we do a committee meeting at different location, but because it's under construction and ADA compliance, it's an issue, so we won't be holding a meeting over there. But at the same time, again, anybody's interested to do a tour, reach out to me. We can schedule something. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, any questions?
We
go
are
ahead.
actually, I have like 2 inches of printed out photos of the project that we're really going to be putting together a history on the project itself for the future, because it's, as Alan said, it's a very complicated and unusual project. And all of the team that's working on the building is amazed at the extent of the project and its complexity.
Great, sounds great. Okay, one last call for questions before we vote. Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, that carries unanimously. Great, let's thank you both for being here, Doug and Patsy, and we look forward to, you know, finalizing, finishing up this project and seeing the results.
Happy 4th.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to B, building management. Number 1, review bids for animal control facilities improvement project and refer recommendation to the Common Council for action. Excuse me. A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement with 4U LLC for the animal control facilities improvement project for a total not to exceed $184,300. Funds are available from account number noted. And B, authorize the Office of Building Management to issue change orders on the contract for a total not to exceed $18,430. Funds are available from account number noted. Will someone please move the item? Ms. Ayers, I'll give that to Ms. Ayers. Thank you. You will recall a couple of months ago, we got the news that the animal control facilities received a rather substantial private donation of $331,000+. And so that is how this work has come to be. Apparently, we also will recall we approved a bid several months ago, but apparently they did not execute the contracts and had to be disqualified, so it went out to bid again. And so here we are with 4U LLC to do this work. Chief Walsh, do we have you to talk about this project?
Yeah, sure. Alan and his team are here to speak about this specific RFP and the specific construction. But yeah, to your point, we received a very generous donation from a benefactor who wrote in her will that she dedicated this money solely to the care and comfort of the dogs at the Norwalk Animal Shelter. So, which is a great endeavor, and they're a busy unit. So, you know, collaborating with the dog wardens, we asked them what would best benefit the dogs that they do have to keep overnight. And they came up with several ideas of extending the back of the pound. So instead of just having a little run, we're extending the run and also providing them some fencing in the back to allow them more fresh air and more areas to run in the back. And just improving several areas of where they can wash the dogs if we have to, drainage and such. There hasn't been a lot of money spent on that building in quite a few years, so it does need some work. And there are some projects after this, but this will be a substantial improvement to the quality and welfare of the dogs that we do keep down there. And it is important to a lot of people. And we have 2 full-time animal control officers, and we have an official dog warden, civilian, who runs the facility. And they all do a great job down there, and they're conscientious, and they're looking forward to this project.
Yeah, it's great. Alan, you have anything to add?
I have nothing to add. Thank you.
All right, any questions? All right, we have a question, Ms. Dunn.
Are we gonna get a tour once it's done as well?
Of course.
That'd be great. We'd like to see the dogs being taken care of. Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, all righty, that is unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Moving on to item 2, review request for security monitoring services for the Health Department and refer recommendation to the Common Council for action. Authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute a 5-year agreement with Security Specialists, a division of Alert Systems LLC, for security monitoring services at Norwalk Health Department for a total annual cost of $468. Account number noted. Will someone move the item, please? Ms. Dunn. Yeah, so they, security specialists have completed the installation. They are happy with the installation, and so they'll need to monitor, and that is what this is about. Any more details, Alan?
Yeah, very quickly. This is one of the unusual things that we will continue to look at, is that the way the city statutes, or not statute, the ordinance is set up and stuff like that, when a multi-year contract requires the Common Council approval, this is one of those things that creates a little bit, actually more, well, I mean, we're trying to manage the efficiency of government with a new ordinance, but at the same time, it creates a little bit of a, I wouldn't say issue, that these things fall between the, I mean, for a contract that's $500 a year, we're going for Common Council, it's kind of silly, but Law Department have made it very clear that multi-year contract requires to go to the Common Council. So we'll continue to look at this to see how maybe in the future we can adjust this, especially the service contract. It shouldn't, and also the security company also requires to execute a contract. In the old days, most of the time we do a purchase orders or some kind of authorization without a contract. But security in today's world, there's a lot of legal terminology, and they require us to do one of the contract with them. So with a contract require the mayor's signature. Other times we will have staff like me to sign off on something that's small amount like this. So those are the kind of detail that hopefully in the future we can continue to improve our our structure to make stuff more efficient. But in any event, this is going to council. It's pretty straightforward. It's a small amount, but at the same time we are required to do it by the way we set the ordinance.
Yeah, and you know, we've certainly as a council, we have, you know, just been making that adjustment to these to the change with the ordinance, and it does seem like, you know, less than $500 a year, but it's I recognize that it's the multi-year, so we've got to
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, Mr. Wiggins. All right, that's unanimous. Moving on to C, Board of Education. Number 1, review and approve request for state approval of the underground tank removal projects at Brookside School and Tracy School. And just to note, council approval is not required here. So this will just, once we approve it here in the committee, it will be ready to go. A, authorize the chairman of the City of Norwalk Land Use and Building Management Committee to certify the City of Norwalk Land Use and Building Management Committee's approval of final plans, project manual, and cost estimate for the Brookside Elementary School underground storage tank removal project, state project number noted. And B, authorize the chairman of the City of Norwalk Land Use and Building Management Committee to certify the City of Norwalk Land Use and Building Management Committee's approval of final plans, project manual, and cost estimate for Tracy Magnet School underground storage tank removal and boiler igniter replacement project, state project number noted. Will someone please move that? Ms. Dunn. Okay, thank you. Bill, you know, we've, you know, had quite a few of these in front of us. I don't know, Alan, if you want to introduce it. And
Yeah,
maybe,
I'm sorry. Let me say a couple of words before Bill goes start.
Sure.
The reason why this doesn't come to go to Common Council, I just want to explain this, because many times member of Common Council have heard that committee has no authority. Really, it's a subcommittee of the Common Council, and you can't really technically approve and authorize anything. This is a very unique situation that I don't think it happened any place else in our process. What happens is two things that happen. One is that by city ordinance, the city has designated a land use and building management committee as a school building committee that's recognized by the state of Connecticut. So, and the second thing is that when the state asks for this, they are not asking for Common Council approval. They are asking the school building committee, which is a land use and building management committee, to sign off, by chairman to sign off. So it's a very unique situation. By the city authorizing the committee as the school building committee, in a way, it gives authorization for the committee to do its work, which is in this case is executing agreement. And also recently, prior to this request, a separate request was made to the Common Council to kind of further establish, I'm not sure that's the right word, recognize that the committee is the school committee for the city of Norwalk. So we do this twice already. So in a way, that the authority to execute any kind of agreement as specifically required by the state, the committee has the authority to do it under this situation. And no other time that I know of that the committee has the right to approve and sign things. But this is a very unique situation. All right, with that, I think, Bill, if you could, please.
So yes, thank you, Alan, and thank you, committee members. About a month or 5 weeks ago, I was in front of this board to request approval to apply for reimbursement for these projects. That was granted. I went to the state and they granted us that wish, if you will, and applied the state project numbers. They gave me a commitment letter that I need to I can start these projects within 2 years. The next step in the process is to develop a specifications, a plan or a blueprint, and get a professional cost estimate, which is in front of you today. That was already done. That's been submitted. Once that's approved today, we fill out a form which would require a signature from the chairperson called the SCGO 42. That then gets delivered to the state along with the same documents that are in front of you today. And then we develop what is called a pre-construction meeting. They review all the documents, the plans, the cost estimate, and then they give us approval to begin the work. So they want to be assured that local funding has been approved and reviewed. That's why this committee has to review and approve these plans and specifications and cost estimate as provided. So the same thing applies for Brookside and Tracy, since they're technically two separate projects, but they are the same combined work. As Alan has mentioned, we've been doing these tanks for a number of years now. We will continue to do these tanks because this summer or this fall will be 2 of them. There are more left at the district, so I might be at this another year or 2.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. And it just seems like this is part of the state process, right? It's one
Yes.
additional step that they put in and require of this committee. We have had a few of these in the past around school construction. So, okay, does anyone have any questions? I actually am curious, just following up on Ms. Laracella's question about, if we've looked at, clean, renewable choices for heating and cooling, and I just wonder if, what the state requirements are around that. I know that, everybody wants to think about, being environmentally sound and, what the options are for us as we're moving towards, being a green city. But, sometimes, regulations require other things. The state has other ideas, and we're looking at a reimbursement. So, yeah, I'm just curious if you could address that at all, Bill.
Well, in this case, we have tanks that have been underground for 30 plus years, 31 to 33 or so. They are mandated to be pulled. At such time, the thought of addressing renewable energy would require that we replace the boilers, and that would not be a reimbursable project, and that would involve more money. Hence, we are mandated to remove the tanks, so therefore we did not look at renewable energy per se. We just focused on the removal of the tanks, and Eversource has provided free of charge the gas infrastructure to be installed from the street to the building, which normally there's a price tag. They did not charge us for 5 of these conversions. So I would think that perhaps in the future, we would review renewable energy sources, but in this case, we were not afforded that due to the time frame of those. expired 30-year life expectancy.
Well, and I'd also think that, you know, these are the type of projects you look at when you are renovating as new or building a new school, because
That
then
is correct.
it can be part of the whole plan, and it's much more affordable that way.
That is correct.
Okay. All right, that's helpful. Thank you very much, Bill. Anyone have any questions, further questions or comments? Ms. Dunn.
Quick question. Was this in our capital budget? The pulling of the tanks originally that we just went through?
All of this work has been 100% capital dollars, yes.
So that's money that we're not spending out of the capital budget.
That's money we are using the capital funds to do this project, and we will be reimbursed from the state at 60%. So the capital budget would afford this project 40%.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And this is Board of Ed capital budget.
Correct. Well, technically it's city's capital, and the Board of Ed
Oh.
has been allocated X amount of dollars, sorry.
Right, exactly. Got it. Okay. All right, Ms. Dunn, further questions? You all set?
No, it's when we move money around, it's good to know where it's coming from sometimes.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right, anything else? Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Ms. Dunn, I'm sorry, what was your vote? That was a yes, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Wiggins, I didn't see your vote. Mr. Wiggins, you there? All right, we lost him, but that did pass. Okay, moving on to item 2, review bids for the Brookside Elementary School Montessori 4th grade classroom upgrade project and Rowayton Elementary School cafeteria flooring replacement project, and refer the following to the Common Council for action. A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement with Vaz Management, Inc. for the Brookside Elementary School Montessori 4th grade classroom upgrade project and Rowayton Elementary School cafeteria flooring replacement project for a total not to exceed $201,586. Funds are available from the following account numbers noted. And B, authorize the NPS Facilities Department to issue change orders on this contract for a total of $20,159. Funds available in account number noted. Will someone move that, please? Mr. Frayer. Okay. Alan, you want to take this and then turn it?
I have no comment really. It's Bill's project.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Sure, thank you. So this again is 100% capital funding. The Brookside Montessori program is expanding, and every year or so, we convert another classroom into the Montessori model, which is basically installing a kitchen in a classroom. It comes down to cabinetry, a dishwasher, a sink, a hand washing sink, a refrigerator, a range, and a microwave. And the students learn under the Montessori program on how to prepare foods and whatnot at very early ages. This will incorporate the next grade, which I believe it's the 4th grade. We have done from kindergarten up to 3rd grade so far. We probably will be back in a year or two for another classroom. In addition to that Montessori at Brookside, the flooring in the Rowayton Elementary School cafeteria is very much of a safety hazard. It's a gymnasium style floor, and there's a cafeteria with kids are constantly spilling foods on it. On top of the floor is what we call vinyl tile or luxury vinyl tile. When the drink gets caught between the tile and the gymnasium floor, the floor begins to buckle, creating major trip hazards. That floor has been there since the school was built in 1937, and we are proposing to remove that floor in its entirety, fill it in with concrete, put the LVT on top of that, and then we will never have a problem again with safety issues. So both of these projects went out to bid in one bid package. We received 3 bids, and Waste Management came in lowest. We did some background check on them. Everything has come back positive, and they have done work for the city of Norwalk in the past. So we highly recommend, and we need to get moving on this project in order for the fall semester to start. So this project will need to go to Common Council next week as well. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Any questions for Bill? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed?
I'm in
Abstent?
favor. My hand won't go up.
Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. So Ms. Dunn? I didn't see your vote, Ms. Dunn. Okay, so that's 4. 4 yeses. Mr. Wiggins, you with us? No, we lost him, but it still passes. Okay. All right. So that is it for tonight. Anything you want to add? Okay. All right. Very.
Special meeting, we can't really add anything, but there is no other.
No, I just, yeah, just good night, whatever.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, we're all set. Thank you, everyone. Motion to adjourn. Okay, very good. All in favor? All right. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.